regarding contracts, personnel actions, and pending litigations. Tonight, I will be seeking approval of the April Treasurer Report. I will also be seeking the approval of the minutes of the regular board meeting from April 17th, 2025. Move on to our reports. Our student representative, Gabriella White.
Good evening. I'm Gabriella White, and I'm a sophomore here at Crestwood. As the year is coming to a close, there are many things to reflect upon. With spring sports coming to an end, I'd like to take a second to talk about the amazing things that these teams have done for our community. The boys volleyball team had a great season with a record of 12-3. They also hosted their inaugural Volley for Veterans, where they honored local veterans in a ceremony before their game. They fundraised the whole night, and it was donated to the local VA hospital. The girls lacrosse team hosted their Morgan's Message game along with the Avitum Club. This program is about breaking the stigma when it comes to mental health and spreading positivity. This is amazing to see that these programs collaborating to support such a rising cause. The student government has been very active recently. We hosted the third annual Comments Let Soar Day in preparation for the Keystones, PSSAs, AP, and final testing. As we also participated in Crestwood's annual Move Up Day, where we hosted sixth graders from Rice and Fairview and gave them tours of the school and answered any questions in order to prepare them for their entrance to the secondary campus. We have been celebrating the success of our students in academics throughout the community through national junior, Spanish, French, business, and regular honor societies. Our French program participated in the National French Contest, where they were very successful as usual. They had 10 students placed in the top 10 out of 47,000 participating students in various levels. They had Hope Klein, R.J. Williams, Sean Rossi, and Jessica Langan receive national honorable mentions. Owen Klein, Shrima, and Ethan Zabrowski were recently honored as one of Citizen Voice Scholastic Superstars of the class of 2025. They were nominated by Crestwood faculty, and only 25 students were selected. These outstanding students were made through the selection process, and their biographies will be appearing in the Citizen's Voice. Crestwood is also excelling in their clubs. The Scholastic Scrimmage team has been participating in competitions and coming out very successful, as well as the Envirothon and Physics teams, as the Envirothon teams placed in the top 10. The Crestwood PJS teams will be taking on states at Penn State main campus this weekend. Crestwood's literary magazine has been finalized, and it's also on its way. Ms. Doherty and her group of workers have been tirelessly working to ensure that the magazine is flawless and showcases Crestwood's hidden talents. Whether it's in sports, clubs, or even the classroom, students here at Crestwood find a way to excel past their limits and be the best they can be. The Comet family has been stepping up and doing good deeds throughout our community. There has been many amazing members of this community representing Crestwood and upholding its standards. We can thank our amazing teachers, staff, and fellow students for their ever-growing support, which help us get there. Thank you for your time and have a wonderful night.
Gabriella, I want to thank you. You've come to, I think we just said 4 meetings this school year, so this is our final student representative report, but you've been here with us 4 times, and we want to thank you and the rest of the student government students that attend our meetings, and we look forward to see you in 25-26. Thank you.
Have a great night.
You too.
We'll move on to our superintendent's report. Mrs. Milazzo.
Thank you. So I always start my superintendent report with our elementary Soaring Comet Awards. We have 2 students from Fairview Elementary and 2 students from Rice Elementary. So when I call your name, if you're here, please either stand up in your seat where you are there. If you want to come to the front, I'm going to read what the staff said about each and every one of you. So starting at Fairview, is Emma Woolbert here? She is not here, but I'd like to read what the staff said about Emma. So Emma is one of our Soaring Comets for the month of April. Emma is a bright and kind-hearted 6th grader who brings energy, enthusiasm, and a positive attitude to our classroom each and every day. She consistently puts forth her best effort, supports her classmates, and embraces new challenges with a smile. Outside of school, she loves playing softball, exploring her creativity on Roblox. Her genuine spirit, love for learning, and support of nature make her a true role model in our school community. So congratulations, Emma. Also from Fairview is Jax Cleary here. Do you want to stand up. So another soaring comet for the month of April is Jax Cleary. Jax is thoughtful and creative and is a wonderful sixth grade addition who approaches each and every day with curiosity and determination. You are a team player in the classroom and is always ready to help a classmate or offer a new idea during discussions. Outside of the school, you enjoy building intricate Lego creations, playing basketball, where he shows off the same focus and enthusiasm. Congratulations, Jax, on the Soaring Comet for April. Our two students from Rice Elementary, Alexander Wood. Mrs. Clem writes that Alexander is a phenomenal young man. She has been very impressed by your dedication to academic abilities and overall character this year. You have consistently demonstrated strong work ethic, a positive attitude, and you're always willing to go above and beyond to achieve your goals. Alexander is extremely respectful and kind. Alexander, you are a soaring comet. Congratulations. Our final soaring comet for April at Rice is Harper Storosco. I hope I said that correctly? You have a family member here, so thank you for joining us. Mr. Junis stated that about Harper is an exceptional young lady and student. He believes that she encompasses all of the character traits that a soaring comet should represent. She is respectful, polite, and kind to her teachers and fellow classmates. She works hard in class and is a consistent honor roll student. Additionally, Harper can always be counted on doing the right thing. Even when others are not focused or making poor choices, she does not join and continues to do what she needs to do. She is a role model not only for sixth grade students, but all of the children at Rice Elementary. Congratulations, Harper. So this concludes our Soaring Comet recognition. Families, I say this all the time, you're more than welcome to stay, or if you'd like to go and celebrate, you can go as well. So thank you again, families and students, for attending. Thank you. So those are our final Soaring Comets, so we'll pick that up in 2005-2026 school year. And just a couple highlights. I know Gabriella mentioned some of these, but I think I'd like to share just a few. Fall physical for our fall season is on June 13th. Again, that is free physical from 5 to 7:30. That's put on here at the secondary campus. There is an online code that's been circulated through the coaches, and I believe sometimes they have QR codes in the classrooms or outside in the halls. So again, that's on June 13th. We had the great tradition, as Gabriella mentioned, the sixth grade moving on up. The students, the staff really enjoy coming up and seeing the halls and getting acclimated, and of course trying the amazing food here at the secondary campus. Today I had the opportunity to go to the kindergarten program. That was absolutely tear-jerking, but we are live streaming these programs. So kindergarten today at Rice Elementary, they have their sixth grade academic celebration that also is live streamed and then will be on the YouTube. Fairview actually has their kindergarten program next Thursday, and their sixth grade celebration at Fairview is on Friday. So April, I don't believe Gabriella mentioned, I don't think I did before, but the students were able to meet with our DAA alumni that came back. We had some weather that they were unable to, have the presentation and assembly and the breakfast, so we were able to host that and had a wonderful opportunity for our students and our alumni and their families, and they were here in April. PSSA digital testing is complete. So congratulations to the students and families. I cannot thank our DAC, our SAC, our IT, our faculty, our staff, students, family, everyone that was involved. It was our first time ever being digital for our PSSAs, and it went absolutely smoothly. So thank you to everyone involved. We did finish up our Keystones this week. Again, that was digital as well, went very, very smoothly. This campus is full of positive celebration, just like Gabriella mentioned. It's surrounded around student academic success. She mentioned some of the honor societies that we already had. There's a lot of excitement. There's a lot of nervousness. new opportunities. You know, the sixth graders are coming to the middle school. The seniors are going on to their next chapter. Your eighth graders are becoming freshmen. So there's a lot of nervousness, excitement, and it's just, you know, our elementary students, field trips. Fairview just had their Race for Education, a lot of PTA enrichments over at Rice. Our last day, students and staff, is May 30th. So it's almost here. We're very excited. And this is the last school board meeting with all of you in there, so or all of us together. Just a reminder, we're closed for Memorial Day. Tuesday, we will have a full schedule, and as I mentioned at the committee meeting, the 28th and 29th, 12 p.m. dismissal for our secondary campus, 1 p.m. for elementary, and then on that final day, May 30th, is a 10 a.m. dismissal at the secondary campus and 11 a.m. at our elementary, with graduation on Sunday, June 1st at 1 p.m. at the Mohegan Sun. And if you have a senior parent, or if you have a senior nephew, cousin, anyone, the next 2 weeks are going to be filled with memory, so I hope you all take it in and absolutely have a wonderful time. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Milazzo. We'll move on to our committee reports. I'd like to remind everyone, public guests, testimony is limited to 3 minutes. Any person that wants to provide testimony or comment should come to the podium, state their name, spell their last name, address as well, and if you're speaking for an organization, name that organization. We are starting.
My name is Ron Krishnowski.
Excuse me, we're not starting yet. There'll be time for open discussions at the end.
Excuse me.
Yes.
That's all right.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mr. Nardone, financial planning.
So I'll be seeking approval for items 1 through 11 that is on the agenda. And before turning any questions over to the board or to the public,
I have one or two.
no, before, I'd like to ask Tommy
Oh,
if you have a comment.
Yeah,
Or
I do. Thank
introduction.
you, Mr. Nardone. I'd like to make a few brief comments on items 10 and 11 on the financial subcommittee agenda. In addition to the district's regular tax revenue anticipation note that the board will be voting on tonight, the board will also consider approval of a general obligation note in the amount of $1,678,000. These funds will help subsidize the capital projects scheduled for this summer. Details regarding these loans have been reviewed during prior work sessions, so I won't revisit them tonight unless there are specific questions. However, I would like to take a moment to thank the team of professionals who work collaboratively to secure these borrowings. This includes Mr. Slusser, his staff, and our internal business office. We also receive legal support from Brian Kozolansky of the firm of Stevens & Lee, who specializes in bond issuances and capital financing for public agencies, including school district. The district's independent fiduciary, Mr. Michael Vind of FSL Public Finance in Reading, plays a critical role in this process as well. Mr. Vind provides valuable insights and serves as a strategic sounding board, offering guidance based on project needs, the district's financial position, and his understanding of current market conditions and bond rating surveillance. Mr. Vind also ensures that the loan RFP process we followed here is to all rules and regulations established by the state. One of Mr. Vind's colleagues, Mr. Ryan Hottenstein, is with us here tonight, sitting in the front row. If the board or the public has any questions about the process we follow to secure these loans, Mr. Hottenstein is available to assist. So welcome, Mr. Hottenstein, and thank you for being here.
So are there any questions for Mr. Hopperson?
I have one or two. First, Tom, thank you for getting the information, budget information to the board today. Had a chance to look at it very briefly. Last year, we projected a balance as of this June 30th of about 2.1 million. I'm going to just ask you for a couple quick estimates. Are we basically in line with that or way off?
If you're referring to the fund balance, we actually finished last year at 2.7 million. I expect that number to rise this year. Exactly by how much, I'm not certain. Could be in the $1 million range or so. But again, I'd encourage the board and Mr. Boone for you to focus more on where our cash position is at the end of this June, more so than the fund balance. That cash position is the reason why we have to take out a tran like we are tonight. If we could get that sufficiently higher, we could avoid that borrowing.
Okay, and usually we get, when we do a projected budget, a estimated balance as of June 30th of next year. Do you have a bottom line guess number for that?
The budget is, well, first of all, we're looking at a proposed final budget tonight, not
Right.
the final budget. So it's actually showing a deficit of about $500,000 or $600,000. So for me to answer your question, it really depends on what happens with the final budget. Assuming it's a structurally balanced budget with revenue and expense equal to each other, then the projection would be that there'd be no change in that fund balance from wherever we end this year and then the end of next year.
Okay, and I would just like to point out in item 7, an increase of 0%. I went online, looked at our latest posted comprehensive plan, and in there it says we will try to reduce reliance on an annual tax anticipation note, which is item 10, which I don't think with a $500,000 or $600,000 deficit, we are going in the correct direction there.
Any more questions from the board? Thanks, Barry. Any questions from the public? None? We'll conclude.
Thank you, Mr. Nardone. Transportation Committee, Mrs. McCurdy.
I'll be seeking approval of item number 1. Are there any questions from the board? From the public? Thank you.
Policy Committee, Mr. Boone.
I'll be seeking approval of item number 1. Questions, comments, or input from the board or the public?
Thank you. Human Resources, Mr. Webby.
Human Resources will be seeking approval, consideration and approval for items 1 through 9. Questions from the board? Questions from the public? Hearing none.
Thank you. Academic Programs, Mr. Champy.
Thank you. The Academic Programs Committee will be seeking approval for items 1 through 4. Do I have any questions from the board? And do I have questions or concerns from the public? Seeing none.
Thank you. Co-curricular, Mr. Boone.
I'll be seeking approval of items 1 and 2. Questions, comments, or input from the board or the public? There are none.
Thank you. Physical Plant, Mr. Webby.
Physical Plant will be seeking consideration and approval for items 1 through 4. Any questions from the board? Questions from the public? Seeing none.
Behavioral Health and
I'll be seeking approval for item number 1. Any questions from the board? Questions from the public? Seeing none.
the LIU Intermediate Unit 18. Minutes are on file in the superintendent's office and on the district's website. The next LIU meeting is Wednesday, May 21st at 6:30 PM. Wilkes-Barre CTC, Mrs. McCurdy.
Thank you. I would like to report that although the discussions happened in executive session, I would like to tell the board that, excuse me, that we have reviewed blueprints for possible expansion projects for the CTC board to review and consider over the next few months. And as that information is ready to come to the board, I will bring it to you. But I wanted to mention this to you for transparency purposes. And at this moment, I am actively helping the superintendents to seek some fundraising and donations in order to complete that project. So that's also an ongoing project. The minutes are on file in the superintendent's office and on the district website, and the next CTC meeting is May 19th, 2025 at the CTC at 5:30 p.m. Thank you.
Thank you. We are moving on to the public testimony on non-agenda items. Your guests are reminded testimony is limited to 3 minutes. Any person providing testimony to the board during a meeting should state their name and address, and if they're speaking for an organization. Any non-agenda questions?
May I speak? Yes, sir. Thank you. Hi, my name is Ron Krishnowski, Krushnowski, 16 Summit View Drive, Fairview Township. My son Jack is in 5th grade at Fairview. He has autism, and I'd just like to know what's with the board, what's going on with the autistic program from 7th through 12th.
Can you be more specific? What are you looking for?
Well, I spoke with Miss Moran a couple days ago, and she said that there's learning support and then there's life skills. So where's the autistic support at? Where did that go?
So I cannot talk about individual students and plans.
No, I don't want individual. I want of the
No.
whole Crestwood School District in a whole.
Right, so all of that placement for autistic support and any students in that class currently or future students to go into a class, I cannot, if you're a student.
No, you're misunderstanding my question. Where's the autistic support at? She said that there is no autistic support.
We have an autistic support classroom right now, yes.
Well, not according to Miss Moran. In what grade? From 7th through 12th?
They're
She
right
said-
outside my office, there's a classroom there right now, yes. And there are students in the autistic support classroom.
This is a big lie.
This school
This is a
year-
lie.
This school year,
Okay,
Right
for
back-
next year then.
okay, so for next year, I cannot discuss individual students.
I
that
don't
are-
want individual
I-
students.
I'm sorry, I cannot comment
It's
on.
the program. It's the autistic program.
So the program is there for students that need to be into that classroom. I'm not going to talk about students
I'm not. Why you
currently-
keep saying about Pacific students? I'm
Because
not.
that's the classroom. A classroom is
Well,
developed
she
by the
told me
students.
that the autistic program is no longer existing anymore.
I'm not going to.
They're abolishing it,
I'm not
disbanding
going to
it.
discuss the classroom or any part of that
She,
classroom.
well, she said that there's learning support and life skills. So where is the autistic support at?
I'm not going to discuss it. I'm sorry.
Why? What do you mean why? No. You shake your head, no. You should be embarrassed of yourself. Oh, you pride yourself on athletics, this and that. So where are these autistic kids going? Who makes the decision where these kids go?
It is a team discussion with staff, students, and parents.
So
I'm
where
not going
are
to
all the
discuss-
autistic children going?
I'm not discussing anything about the students in that class or anyone that would be going to that class.
It's a program. We sued the district once already, okay? So, believe me, Crestwood has not been very nice to the autistic children, you know? I mean, so where's the program going? Learning support and life skills. You should all be ashamed of yourself. You can't answer me that as a taxpayer? Mr. Macri, any word?
Do you have any other questions? the superintendent explained that she cannot talk about individual students.
I don't
in the
want
plan.
individual students. It's a
The
program.
classroom's made up of individual plans. Once those plans are developed, they
know what?
develop the structure.
So where is it going? Where are these kids going to go then? Are they going to go to Hazelton? Are they going to go to Webster?
That is none of your business where those students are
No, as a
going.
taxpayer, it
No.
is my business. It's
No.
everyone's business here.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, you.
Mrs. Gagaris, may you come to the podium, please?
Everybody went out of turn, I believe, and I didn't hear one denied, and that's where I was going to speak. I would like to, under Human Resources 8 and 9, I would like to read them. Recommend consideration and approval of Dean Ambrosi, Athletic Director, to move his retirement effective date to July 7, 2025. The retirement date submitted and approved was effective January 1st, 2026. Number 9, recommend consideration and approval of Michael McCree as the Athletic Director, Act 93, Act 55, District Safety Security Coordinator, at a prorated salary of $81,000 pending release date. Mr. Macri, I don't, could I ask whose idea this was? Somebody has to think the people in Mountaintop are stupid to want to pay from $69,000 to $81,000. Why would we want to spend that money, extra money, on a athletic director? Where are we getting the extra money to begin with?
We conducted a search through advertising, reviewed multiple applicants, conducted 2 rounds of interviews, and a proposal from the HR and administration was made to the board, which is what's on the agenda tonight, right? If you look at metrics in the area, that is a lower side AD salary. We added the safety component to that position, so we expanded the position.
And why did you do that, Mr. McRae? I never heard this board talk about safety. I've heard you talk about the javelin pit. I have not heard you mention anything about safety. The other day, the last meeting, Mr. Parentoni, what did he say? He stated that this is the palace on the hill. We have no fights. Why do we need somebody with a safety? Was it advertised for safety coordinator?
State rules.
Was it
State law
advertised?
regulates that we must have someone.
Okay. Was it advertised for safety coordinator?
No, it was Act 93 Athletic Director.
Mr. Nardone, isn't that an unfair labor practice if it wasn't advertised for a safety coordinator?
I'm going to say that the job description says it's the job description as the superintendent assigned. So I'm acknowledging that this person is the athletic director as posted. The Act 55, I have to report that to the state of the Act 55, safety and security. So I wanted to make sure that the board knew that we had to appoint an Act 55 safety and security coordinator, which this person will be assigned should the board approve, and then I report that to the state. So that's why that is attached to that, because that's part of their job description.
It seems to me that the board wrote the job description to fit this person. Okay. But still in all, you said we need a safety coordinator. But why didn't we ever talk about it?
We had one prior, and we are transitioning that individual to just the vice principal role. So Mr. Parentoni, who was here at the committee meeting, he was the Act 55 safety coordinator. So we're adding to the team, so it'll be a team of 3 now instead of a team of 2.
But he's a principal.
Right.
He's already, you're adding to his salary. You're adding money. People are here fighting for an art program.
We have an
Okay.
art program for next year, Ms. Gagaris. We talked about that.
An art teacher.
Yes,
I'm
I
sorry.
posted an elementary art teaching position earlier in the week.
I did not know that.
That's okay.
Okay, I still don't understand where the security comes from, but let me remind the board that some schools are now hiring part-time athletic directors.
They're hiring many. There's several districts that have an athletic director and 4 or 5 assistant athletic directors.
Well, that's not Crestwood. We're not that big of a school that we need that, Mr. Macri.
And you are correct. That's why we're not. And we have the leanest administration in the area, some of the leanest administration in the state. We combine duties and roles. We overall provide a savings for the return on how our administration is structured.
Why are you moving his retirement date up, Mr. Ambosi? Why can't
No,
we
he did
save that money?
He did that, Ms. Gagaris. He submitted the letter to the HR and then had requested the board to consider moving his date. We
To
as in-
accommodate this person that wants to, evidently, the way I'm looking at it, maybe his job is up in another area, and it's time to slide into a new job.
No,
I
Mr.
don't know the
Ambosi,
person.
he submitted a letter to HR, the HR department, and requested that he move his date, and so the board has to consider that.
How many people applied for this position?
Honestly, I did not count it, but the stack was about this high, Ms. Gagaris.
Do they all know it was a security component was required?
No, ma'am. As discussed, the job description was a part of the Act 93. The Act 55 is because the board has to approve the Act 55 safety and security. It's under other duties assigned from the superintendent.
I don't know, Mrs. Malazzo, it still sounds to me that the position was made for a certain person, was written to match the candidate that wanted to be hired. Okay. Mr. Macri, this board is supposed to be the voice of the children and the people, and I'm sorry. We are asking for a full-time art teacher that we all feel is needed. So far,
There's a job posted for a full-time art teacher.
Okay, she did say it, but these are my notes that I wrote, and I just want to stick to them. So far, the board is spending $90,000 interest on a glorified bathroom that was wanted. We are also talking about a javelin pit.
Excuse me, what bathroom?
I'm sorry.
What
I think
bathroom
it's-
for $90,000?
No, the interest on it. The, what is that called? What is the building out back that costs $5 million? The field house. Thank you,
That-
Mr. Green. Okay.
That's,
We are also talking about a javelin pit that is wanted at $68,000, and now increasing an athletic director's salary that seems to be wanted by someone on the board. To Mr. Macri and the board, we the people of Mountain Top, okay, we need an art teacher, and we are getting an art teacher, finally, for our children. If you spend our tax dollars on our children, you could easily accomplish this. So I just hope the javelin pit, because we can't keep coming up with all this extra money for, I don't know where we're getting it from. I think all the taxpayers would agree for the art teacher, but not for the javelin pit. That's, Okay, I thank you for that. And, okay, I am done with that part, Mr. Macri, but now I am under the non-agenda. This was supposed to be under human resources. Thank you for explaining that, Mrs. Milazzo, but I still disagree with the hiring of someone at $81,000. Why can't he come in at 69 like Mr. Ambrosi had? That's my question. On the non-agenda, I was at the meeting last week, and I'd like to address two board members on something they mentioned. Mrs. McCurdy, do you feel like important district information is being kept from you and other board members by Mrs. Milazzo and our board president, Mr. Macri? Mrs. Chagoric, you mentioned gatekeeping last meeting. Can you tell us, is the superintendent and board president controlling important information for some board members that is affecting the way you and other board members do your job?
I'm going to say no.
Okay.
I believe that I have asked questions and I have gotten unsatisfactory answers. I've asked questions again, gotten some other unsatisfactory answers. So sometimes I believe I need to go to other sources for information, and I do feel that I am being prevented from having those conversations.
Thank you.
Hello, Tom Stavitsky. Good evening. I live in Walden Park. Who brought this gentleman in tonight?
Actually, Michael Vind, our fiduciary, volunteered the gentleman who's here
Well,
tonight.
I'd like to thank you for bringing
Yeah.
them in, and Mrs. Milazzo and Mr. Macri. We need like transparency like this in our district. I remember a few years back, was it the air conditioning when they had I think it was the air conditioning when they brought in like an engineer or something like that. I was watching the last meeting, and it was brought up about, it looked like the board wasn't a full entity in agreement upon all the projects outside, the track and all that. Could we, Mr. Macri, bring in like an engineer, like an expert, and maybe open it up to the public, some of these projects, and like explain to people in like layman's terms, or have a PowerPoint? Because some of the stuff I didn't understand about footers and whatnot last time, I'd like to know. But could we get that transparency?
As the project moved along, the contracting services and their engineers brought up and presented reasonable and what you would consider guarantees to their performance of their job. As putting out the specifications on the job, we received the bids, we received the guarantees. They addressed all of the issues in the bid proposal. And from that aspect, that's where the bids were awarded. So if you were looking at a major project, if you were building a school, you would have open public sessions with the designers, the engineers, and the architects to that extent. When you're looking at projects of this scale, normally what goes through is the project description, put out the bid, you compare the three bids, you ask questions of the bidders, you clarify your concerns, and you ask for the guarantees and holding, which is what would have happened in the track project.
So was it 7 million for everything? Is that considered a little project then?
I believe it was under 1.2.
1.2, I mean, to me, that's pretty big. And it seemed like the board was divided. I mean, I give Ms. Campbell credit for, because she brought out a great point about the practice field being taken away. Maybe that's something, the public could have input in. Just
I
the
don't think
whole,
there's
the
a
whole scope
practice
of this
field being
project. What's
taken
that?
away. I don't think there's a practice field being taken away.
Well, wasn't the javelin pit supposed to go over to the right?
Javelin pit right now is over in the middle school field.
Okay.
And it's not, and the javelin pit is marked
And
out.
we do have a district champion,
Right. Yes, we
Maddie
do.
Geiger in
Yes.
javelin. But
And
go ahead.
thrown on grass in our practice field. The discussion was moving the javelin pit behind the visitors
See, like
stand.
you're
and
saying,
then
real quick, I don't mean
let
to
me
cut you
finish
off.
before you cut me off. It
I
was
might forget.
discussed. There was nothing finalized. That's a decision made by the administration and then would be presented to the board. Nothing was finalized, nothing. It was open discussion at a work session, which is what's supposed to go on.
I mean, you're talking like it's your backyard. I don't know, maybe if you put a PowerPoint up and showed the public and, it'd be a little bit more, open to what's going on, maybe people would be a little more receptive.
From a board perspective, it's not our job to make the presentations. We're to review and provide guidance. It's from the administration side and the athletic director's side to make those presentations.
And we're in limbo right now with hiring a new AD then, right? Is that what you're?
Yeah, I will take, so we have 3 projects, right? The one is safety and security, and that presentation, unfortunately, because of safety and security, I will never be able to present. The roof project at Fairview, I can look into having someone come to just talk about maybe some updates now instead of
I mean,
starting
a
from the
roof is a
beginning.
roof. I mean, but like all this stuff going on, like
With
with
the
the
track,
field
yeah.
and the track. I
But
mean,
the-
it's
the
easy to
roof-
talk about
The
it,
roof
but
is way over $1.8 million.
well, it's a roof.
Well, there's
You
other
put
parts
shingles
of
on
it.
it, whatever. I mean, it's not like.
There's
you
some
know, the-
facade work too that's being done. Like there is some other aspects to it that's all, 300,000.
I don't know if you get my point. Like, could you, maybe the next meeting or so before everything goes done, show the public what we're doing and
Yeah,
maybe
we
get
could
the
do-
engineers to come in and talk?
Maybe we can do like a project update because they are
That'd be
going to
great.
start right after,
That'd be great.
the season. And I think I announced that the track and turf, that will be closed to the community as soon as lacrosse or any other spring season finishes. We want to make sure that they're here and being able to represent at a state level and supported. After that, that project will start. So at the June
Okay,
meeting,
hold
I
you to
can
that.
see.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Real quick, I know we're losing a very good athletic director, and I think we're gaining also a good one. I have experience with Mr. McCree. I've known him since college, and I actually coached football with him before, and I think we're going to get a good candidate. It's going to be hard to fill Mr. Ambosi's shoes, but I think Mr. McCree is a good one. Thank you.
May I have, I'm sorry, dear. No.
Good evening, I'm Bill Kane, the CEA president. Couple things. I would, first a comment. I was watching the committee meeting, and I think it would be helpful if you directed the people to come up to the podium when they make comments during the committee meetings as well, because it was hard to follow exactly what the discussion was. Secondly, I found the exchange about autistic support deeply troubling. And I want to caution the board, if you are, and I have heard rumors, if you are considering cutting programs like that, in years past, that has not been cost effective. So not only are those students best served here, and I'm saying if, I don't know that you're actually planning on doing that, but those students are better served here. They are valuable members of the school community. And outsourcing them, for lack of a better word, for decades in the past was costly. All right, for years we were told that it was cost effective, and the numbers did not reveal that. So from a dollars and cents point of view, it's not a good idea. And that population is rising, and if the program is started and stopped and cut, it will be ineffective. you are going to have, your numbers of autistic students will go up. That's just the reality. Next, if I might, if I could put on my class advisor hat for a moment. I asked for a cost on our class night activities in the cafeteria. And the cost for the food for what was being provided was actually, there was minimal increase, if any. But the bill doubled. And I asked the new, I'm sorry, I'm blank, it's PJ is his name, I'm blanking on his. I asked him why, and the senior class was charged for the labor of the cafeteria workers who were there. He said that was policy. I know that the board has been trying to save money and generate revenue by charging outside clubs and for use of facilities and for use of district employees. But if that is indeed the board policy, I would ask that you consider amending that for student groups, students in the district, that kind of activity, they're literally selling Krispy Kreme donuts to pay cafeteria workers for an important event. And it just didn't set right. And I don't know if that is the policy, but if it is, please consider an alternative. Thank you.
Would you be willing to share the invoice with me so I can review that?
Sure.
Thank you.
Can I ask which committee would be involved in conversations regarding autistic classroom changes?
Academic.
Okay.
You reminded me last time, Mrs. Malazzo, graduation is June 1st. In 2019, I had 2 grandsons, graduate. And we were all at the Mohegan Suns. And it came time to pledge allegiance to the flag. Everybody's saying, where's the flag? It is up to Mohegan Sun to provide the flag. But someone from the audience had a call and make them aware that they didn't do their job. They didn't put the flag there because everybody did not know where to look. There was a flag purchased, evidently in the year 2020, at a cost of close to $300 for the school here to represent all graduates plus all those young people going into the service. Can anyone tell me where that flag is? Evidently, they can't find it in the notes. I was the delivery person for that flag, and I gave it to evidently a janitor. The janitor said, it'll be in the minutes, and it'll be taken care of. And nobody knows where this flag is. My one grandson, went into the Air Force, and out of respect for him and all of the young people that go into the service, that's why the flag was purchased for this school, because no one in 2019 knew enough from the board to have a flag there to represent all students. Thank you.
Can we get some clarity on the duties of the safety and security coordinator?
Let me see if I have that Mrs. McCurdy with me. I do. So it says here, this is right from Tony, I always pronounce his name wrong, Greco, right from the IU, the executive director. Each school district entity must have a school safety and security coordinator appointed by the chief administration. That would be me. The coordinator shall oversee the school police officers, resource officers, security guards, and safety and security policies, report directly to the chief school administrator. The coordinator shall oversee school police officers, resource officers, security guards, safety, security reporting directly to myself. Specific duties are behavioral health awareness, suicide bully awareness, substance abuse awareness, emergency procedures and training skills, situational awareness. Serving as the liaison between the School Safety and Security Committee, the Department of Education, law enforcement, and organizations on matters of safety and security. This individual must be appointed, that's not relevant here. The coordinator must make a report to the school board during executive session and to the School Safety and Security Committee regarding school entities' current safety, security practices, and strategies to improve safety. That's kind of what we talked about today in executive. School, did that already. They must go to trainings. They have specific ones that they're called. The coordinator must coordinate tours of all the buildings for local law enforcement agencies, first responders at least once every 2 years, which is like that RVAT report, and upon the new building renovation of existing building. Must have 1 hour of instruction in total with topics which are emergency training drills, fire, natural disaster, active shooter, hostage situation, bomb threat, threat assessment training, identification of recognition of student behavior that indicates threat to safety and students, 2 hours of training in person or virtual of any or more of the school safety and security topics, situational awareness, trauma-informed practices and approaches, behavioral health awareness, suicide and bullying awareness, and substance abuse. And that is all on Act 55 of 2022.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
May I just add one item? From the Academic Program Committee, just with the mention of the autistic support programs being canceled. I personally have not heard anything on that, so I want, okay. That's why I wanted to just announce that. As the chair, we have not discussed that, and nothing has come my way, and I would not vote for that, personally. So just to put that out there for the board, and then the community as well, that it has not been discussed. So the rumors, I would hope, could be put to bed there.
Mrs. Palazzo, services wouldn't be denied, correct? They would just be farmed out maybe to the IU? Is that what you're?
Yeah, so a school district must support an IEP or an individual plan, an educational plan, and sometimes those services or that IEP drives outside sources. A school district is not required to maintain that classroom here as long as the services are not disrupted. But yes, that is correct. You, as the chair, have not been discussed with that information, and I'm sad that he came here and brought that to everyone here today. But truly, any IEP or students or program that would be affected, that really is so specific to each of those students, it wouldn't be proper for me to share that information.
So just, I'm sorry, what Mr. Kane said, would you look into, like, perhaps hiring your own teacher opposed to sourcing out to the IU? Like,
Yeah.
Would that be cost effective?
Yeah, so we currently have the classroom now. We did have a resignation in the beginning of the year, and we had a long-term sub into that position who, we notify the families when that happens, and then that classroom also, that long-term sub got a position at another district, so we had a substitute in there as well. So as we've been discussing some positions that have been posted, that position or, any kind of discussion of, I think he said a learning support teacher or a hiring of an autistic support, none of that has been posted or any of that. It's only the end of May. We start school in September, so we have some time, but to answer your question, there's been some changes in staff there, but that's just due to resignations.
Yeah, I think the services for special needs students changes annually. Many years ago, my wife taught special ed for the IU in the Crestwood district, and in her classroom were students from Crestwood, students from Hanover, students from Nanticoke, or not Nanticoke, Wilkes-Barre, and students from Northwest. And at some point, basically, they aged out of her age group and moved on, and we were down to maybe 2 students in her classroom that would have been from Crestwood. And it would not have been cost-effective to hire a teacher for 2 students, and therefore those students were moved to another district. And I think that's a constantly changing thing with the special needs, what the needs of the students are, and that has to be evaluated annually. And you never know from year to year exactly what's going to happen until you get into those later summer months and know what the needs of the district are going to be, and then we make our decisions from there.
Yeah, because when you talk about an autistic support classroom, the pieces that go with it is, it's not just the teacher, right? It's the pairs in that room to make sure each of the students are prepared. So it's a whole process, like you just described, but it's not just about the teacher, it's how many staff members are needed to support that goes along with it. But it's driven by the IEP and what's driven through that team approach that we have at the district to support the best for that student and for that family. And sometimes that is Crestwood, and sometimes that is an outplacement.
All right. Good evening, Bill Heckman, Crestwood CEA. This question is for, I guess, Mr. Nardone, the Financial Committee, and perhaps Mr. Benz. Item 11, that note, was for approximately 1.7 million, a little bit less?
Correct,
Okay.
1.678, yeah.
All right, what projects is that earmarked for?
Yeah, so we had about $2 million worth of capital projects that we're working on this summer. The stadium, which encompasses both the track and the turf, the roof at Fairview Elementary, and then the safety security project at the 2 elementary schools. So that combined is approximately $2 million. And the loan, that note that's here is subsidizing a piece of it. The rest will be subsidized through our capital account.
Through the cash reserve?
Well,
Okay,
yeah,
so-
capital cash, not operating cash.
Right, capital
Yep.
cash. So from what you said before, look less at the fund balance and look more at the cash
Correct.
reserve. Why did the board not consider borrowing the full amount? For me personally, I'm doing a project on my home, I borrow the full amount because that cash is really possibly there for emergency scenarios, correct?
Yeah, so there was a spirited debate on the utilization of our cash versus borrowing. Okay? When I talk about a spirited debate, some folks wanted to use all cash and deplete the cash account. And through discussion and analysis, we decided to split it a little bit. Some of us wanted to borrow it all, given the interest rates. But in order to get a consensus and move forward on a timely basis to get the project started, the board agreed to borrow most of it and use some cash. So it was a debate, spirited, and the consensus that we arrived at was a legitimate decision, given the facts of the case at the time we made the decision.
Okay, you had mentioned interest rates. What's the interest rate for the note, and then what's the interest rate that we're currently receiving for the cash?
The interest rate for that note is 4.01%, correct? And the average interest rate on our cash is about 4.1%.
So we get more interest from the cash than we'd pay for the note.
Correct. When we made this decision, though, the projection was that interest rate was going to be 4.6%. When it went out for bid, we were fortunate enough to get a lower rate than what we thought. So to Mr. Nardone's point, when the decision was made, it was based on the thought that the rate would be 4.6, which is slightly higher. It's a small float, but still slightly higher than what we're getting on our cash.
But the cash would actually earn compound
But Tommy,
interest, though, correct?
is the district guaranteed that interest rate over the time of the loan?
No.
No. So interest rates fluctuate,
Correct.
right? So at the time the decision was made, the cost of the money was more to borrow it than use available cash on hand.
I think we did I ran it even at 4.6 and 4.1 over the length of the loan with compound interest. The district still would have made a little bit more money,
If interest rates remained where they are. Right?
correct?
So if interest rates go down, that formulation goes out the window,
Okay.
right? And by not using available cash, you now shift the burden to the taxpayer. So you.
Available cash or note, it's still the
It's
taxpayer,
still,
correct?
you still do it. So if you have cash already, you're spending money you have instead of borrowing money and letting money sit, which potentially you're not going to make money on, right? You can't guarantee interest rates, right? Typically, I mean, you ask anyone on fixed income, interest rates have not been good lately.
Yeah, but no one depletes their bank account just completely down to do any kind of project if you can borrow money. And you said taxpayers' money, one way or another, it's taxpayers' money, correct? Not just,
It's all taxpayer money.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you.
I do have one thing I'd like to say to the board here, since there isn't a good place normally to say these things. So I'd like to report that I had the great pleasure speaking on behalf of our students and taxpayers in a very soggy Harrisburg this week, lobbying for charter school reform, the reinstatement of PlanCon, and underfunded and unfunded mandate relief, in the form of more balanced subsidies. Unfortunately, the only elected official representing our school district who could make time with me was Senator Argel, but I did have a good brief conversation with him. But I also had an opportunity to speak with Representatives Haddock and Representative Paszynski, who are helping me better understand how the funding formula works, and particularly how our adequacy funding is not in fact adequate based on the ratio of high median income versus the very low tax burden on our taxpayers in the Crestwood School District. But overall, it was a good and informative day. I look forward to getting some more information about the details of how the funding formula works, and I was happy to represent the school district this week in Harrisburg. So, thank you.
Seeing no further questions, we'll move on to the voting session. I'd like to seek a motion and a second.
I gotta do a roll call.
Roll call.
Sorry. Mrs. Bibla, Mr. Champy,
Here.
Mrs. Chaitor Zagoric,
Here.
Mr. Webby,
Here.
Mrs. McCurdy,
Here.
Mrs. Campbell, Mr. Nordone, Mr. Boone,
Here.
and Mr. Macri.
Here.
7 members present.
I seek a motion and a second to approve the April Treasurers Report.
Motion.
Second.
Roll call.
Mrs. Bibla, Mr. Champy,
Yes.
Mrs. Chaitor Zagoric,
Yes.
Mr. Webby,
Yes.
Mrs. McCurdy,
Yes.
Mrs. Campbell, Mr. Nordone, Mr. Boone,
Yes.
and Mr. Macri.
Yes.
Motion carried.
I make a motion and seek approval, a second, for the approval of the minutes from the regular board meeting, April 17th, 2025.
Motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Move on to financial planning. Mr. Nardone?
I'd like to make a motion and seek a second for items 1 through 11. I so move. Do I have a second?
Second. Roll call.
Mr. Champy,
Yes.
Mrs. Chaitor Zagoric,
Yes.
Mr. Webby,
Yes.
Mrs. McCurdy,
I will abstain on items number 2 and 7. Yes to the rest.
Mr. Nordone,
Yes.
Mr. Boone,
I recuse myself on check number 8329 under item 1. No on number 7. Yes to the rest.
Mr. Macri.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Transportation, Mrs. McCurdy?
Thank you. I make a motion to approve item number 1. So move.
Second.
Mr. Champy?
Yes.
Mrs. Chaitor Zagoric?
Yes.
Mr. Webby?
Yes.
Mrs. McCurdy?
Yes.
Mr. Nordone?
Yes.
Mr. Boone?
Yes.
And Mr. Macri.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Policy Committee, Mr. Boone?
Seeking a recommendation and a second on item 1.
Second.
Mr. Champy?
Yes.
Mrs. Chaitor Zagoric?
Yes.
Mr. Webby?
Yes.
Mrs. McCurdy?
Yes.
Mr. Nordone?
Yes.
Mr. Boone?
Yes.
And Mr. Macri.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Human Resources, Mr. Webby?
I make a motion and seek a second for the approval of items 1 through 9.
Second?
Mr. Champy?
Yes.
Mrs. Chaitor Zagoric?
Yes.
Mr. Webby?
Yes.
Mrs. McCurdy?
Yes.
Mr. Nordone?
Yes.
Mr.
Yes.
Boone?
Yes.
Mr. Macri.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Academic Committee, Mr. Champy?
I make a motion and seek a second for approval for items 1 through 4. I so move.
Second.
Mr. Champy?
Yes.
Mrs. Chaitor Zagoric?
Yes.
Mr. Webby?
Yes.
Mrs. McCurdy?
Yes.
Mr. Nordone? Mr. Boone?
Yes.
Mr. Macri.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Co-curricular, Mr. Boone?
Seek a motion and a second on items 1 and 2.
Motion.
Second?
Mr. Champy?
Yes.
Mrs. Chaitor Zagoric?
Yes.
Mr. Webby?
Yes.
Mrs. McCurdy?
Yes.
Mr. Nordone? Mr. Boone?
Yes.
And Mr. Macri.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Physical Plant, Mr. Webby?
I make a motion and seek a second for items 1 through 4.
Second.
Mr. Champy?
Yes.
Mrs. Chaitor Zagoric?
Yes.
Mr. Webby?
Yes.
Mrs. McCurdy?
Yes.
Mr. Nordone?
Yes.
And Mr. Boone?
Yes.
Mr. Macri?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Behavioral Health and Safety, Mrs. Chaitor Zagoric?
I make a motion and seek a second for item number 1.
Second.
Mr. Champy?
Yes.
Mrs. Chaitor Zagoric?
Yes.
Mr. Webby?
Yes.
Mrs. McCurdy?
Yes.
Mr. Nordone? Mr. Boone?
Yes.
Mr. Macri.
Yes.
Motion carried.
The next scheduled committee meeting is Thursday, June 19th, which will be here on the secondary campus at 4 p.m. The next scheduled regular board meeting is on Thursday, June 26th, here at the secondary campus at 6:30. I make a motion and seek a second for adjournment.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. This meeting's adjourned. Thank you.